Butter.
Butter.
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
I'm just playing. I'm not Babish, and today we're doing two different types of butters and mashed potatoes. Let's get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is the easiest of leveled up butters, browned butter. You only need three things for this: butter, heat, and patience. To your pan, you're going to add your butter and cook it low and slow, or on medium if you're feeling confident. The goal is to brown the milk solids without them burning, which will happen if you rush this. The end result should be a fragrant, nutty, golden brown liquid. Once this is achieved, remove from the heat and transfer to another container to stop the cooking process. And there's your browned butter. Next is coffee butter. This was done by the folks over at Chef Steps. Link to their video in the description. For this, you'll need 2 parts unsalted butter to 1 part fresh whole coffee beans of your choice, nails painted as black as your soul to battle toxic masculinity, and a big old pot of hot water. Place the beans and the butter in a Ziploc bag and remove all the air from it. Or vacuum seal it if you're fancy like that. I used a sous vide set to 194 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 degrees Celsius because I'm fancy like that. But a pot of water on medium to low heat while constantly being watched for temperature control works just as well. Place the bag into the pot of water, trying your best to keep the bag submerged. Cover the pot to make sure the water doesn't evaporate, and you're going to let the butter and coffee get to know each other in that little baggie for 3 hours. After those 3 hours, you're going to strain out that coffee-infused buttery liquid, and there you have it, coffee butter. Finally, we got mashed potatoes, more specifically pomme puree. It's no different from mashed potatoes, just on the smoother, creamier side of things. Let's take a moment to talk about them taters and how we're going to cook them. There are 2 types of potatoes, waxy and mealy. For mashed potatoes, you want your potatoes on the more mealy side, like Yukon Golds or Fingerlings or Lerat from France if you can find it. The reason is, the starches in the cells of these potatoes swell and separate when cooking, allowing you to coat each cell with that butter and creamy goodness for more flavor and a smoother texture. We're also going to use the sous vide again to cook them in milk and butter, rather than traditionally boiling them in water. Now, back to those taters. Peel and cut the potatoes into even pieces, about 1 inch thick. Add the potatoes, butter, any aromatics like rosemary or thyme, garlic, and milk to your trusty bag. And season with salt off camera. Now, add your potato bag to your pot of water and cook sous vide at 194 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes. And then struggle with keeping the bag submerged. It's okay. You're doing your okayest. I believe in you. Once that's done, remove from your pot and strain those potatoes, catching any garlic and rosemary pieces. Make sure you get all of that melted butter that wasn't absorbed by the potatoes along with the milk. Let's take another moment to talk about mashing. You can put the different types of tools used in mashing potatoes on a spectrum, from making it coarse yet densely mashed to finely smooth and fluffy mashed. You got your potato mashers with the squiggly lines on the coarser end, and food mills and tammies or fine mesh drum sieves on the fine end. Food mills and mesh sieves will break down the potatoes more finely, allowing each individual piece to be covered in milk and fats, making it smoother and fluffier. I went with something in between, a ricer. This will be closer to the finer side of the spectrum. Plus, it's so stress relieving to watch and to push the potatoes through with little effort. Definitely a fun activity for friends and family, I guess. After all your potatoes are mashed, add any additional milk or butter, like that brown butter and coffee butter we just made, and freshly cracked black pepper. Whisk until it's smooth, creamy, velvety, and moist. And there you have it. Those are our mashed potatoes or pomme puree. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. See you next time. Keep up!